Hello, Perry Sean here. I'm going to walk you through the segments of the sales machine. I'm going to start here with our first one. We're going to go in order from left to right. And this is your sales audit page. On this page, you'll be able to find assessments that will quickly identify for your team with 90 seconds or less, actually, of what it is that they need. So here you would ask the one question here, what do you need to increase your sales? You have 12 segments to choose from. And in this case, we'll go with leverage referrals. We'll click on that and up will open one of the assessment tools. We call them sales audits. Quickly, the one question only, what do you need to get more referrals, and a series of statements for them to check off so that you can isolate your training and your sales coaching for them thereafter. Once you've identified what it is and you get them to whittle it down to one or two items, and if they check off more than that, then you just say, oh, of those, which would be your top one or two items, and then you would go back to the site, scroll back up to the top, and then of course you would either go to sales training, sales coaching, depending on what the issue is. So let's go to sales training, the sales training segment, and you'll notice there's a video here on each one of these pages to guide you along in case you forget how to use this particular page. And so we'll scroll down, and again here we have the 12 again. So in this case we're going to follow along with leverage referrals. We open that and up will open up a page for us. And in this page, you have three choices in the way in which you use the information. If your team member or yourself has an iPhone, you simply just scroll down and the information's there for you to read. If you would like to read the information instead in a PDF format, it's here. You just click on this button and you have a PDF format. But if you would prefer to listen to it, of course, we have it in audio and we have it by tracks. So that way it's time sensitive, so that therefore if they only need to listen to one segment that applies to them, then you let, like say for example they said ask for referrals, you would listen to that segment only if they choose to, and they can go back and listen to the rest. Then once you've done that, you go back up to the top. So you've done the sales audit, sales training. Let's go to the sales coaching GPS. And this is specifically for you to use with the team. Again, here's your video. Again, we scroll down and this is your secret weapon. This is the part that we're really excited about. What happens, you click on the leverage referrals in this case, and up will open is your sales coaching GPS. Looks pretty simple right here. But if we click on the plus sign, there's the secret. Click on the plus sign, scroll across, and in this case, you'll notice that each one of the questions is your starting point for a conversation. In our case, we're just going to start at the top because we're going to stick with the issue they're having is about asking for referrals. So question is, did you get a chance to ask for a referral? They have a choice of two responses. In this case, they're either going to say yes or no. So let's say our sales rep said yes, and so up will open the next set of questions. So this is to be either a guideline for you, or if you want, if you're new at the sales coaching piece, it may be actually a paint by number. You ask a question, let your team member respond, ask your question, let your team member respond. And this develops from simple general questions to build a natural conversation to get into more detail. And here, wherever you notice a plus sign, that means there's more questions underneath. And did it go? How did it go? Well, of course, it can either go well or it can go poorly. So but underneath each one of these is a series of questions to help ensure that no matter what happens, they have some learning from what happens that they can apply to their next sales conversation. So you continue down, and depending on whether it's a new rep or a more experienced rep, if it's a new rep, they'll probably gain an insight fairly soon in the conversation. If that's the case, you scroll down to the bottom and ask the last three questions. But in this case, let's say we have an experienced person, and I'm just going to scroll down a bit here so that you can see as we go down in the questions, ask the question, let them respond, ask the question, let them respond. As we go down, you'll notice there's a lot more plus signs. And these are for the various options that they have in their responses. And again, depending on what their answer is, you would click on that and up will open the next set of questions for you to ask. All right, then you can close it up as you go. Let's say they asked at the beginning of the relationship, the when. You start at this top and scroll down. It's all designed, you start at the top and scroll down with your questions until they gain an insight. Once they gain the insight, then as I mentioned earlier, you scroll down to that segment, to the bottom of that segment, and you ask the final 3 questions. So you always want to end the conversation with a commitment of what they're going to do differently. Again, about the commitment, about when they're going to get a chance to do it, and then when can you follow up? These 3 questions you will find are different for each one because they're customized for that particular branch of questions. And once you're done, all you do is you go back to the site again, and then you're ready to move on to the tracking segment. And let me open up the tracking segment for you. And here, this is where you help your team make the connection between their behaviors and the results they get. So let's once again click on the leverage referrals, and up will open a page. You can print this off, and here is the client's name, and then there's an example here, a fictitious one for you. And here are the behaviors they engage in, and then the results that they got because of the behaviors they engaged in. And each segment, you want to ensure that they make that connection, because then they'll begin to see a pattern of what works for them. Once you're completed with that, you go back and up to the site, to the top where you have your menu. Now, that will be a complete segment in your coaching and providing training and tracking, but say you're in the process and you have a question. So here we go to the Ask a Question and Answer segment of the site, where you have 3 things going on here. One is you can submit your questions. All you do is click on the button, click to continue here, where you'll be able to submit your questions. Then you also have the answers for you down here in the segment of the site, as you can see. And then you also have, on a regular basis, you'll be able to be part of the sales coaching teleconference call, and there will also be a draw for who it is that's going to be coached during that call, where you'll be able to listen to that audio at any time that you would like, or to actually be on that call listening in. So that ends your tour of what the sales machine has under the hood.